Good morning, colleagues, friends, students, and supporters of Ateneo Center for Economic Research and Development, or ASERD, and welcome to the final session of our seminar series, which is an in-depth analysis of the teacher's financial literacy. And let me now share a screen. All right. Okay, before we start, let me read the house rules. We will let the speaker finish her presentation first before we entertain questions. Zoom participants, kindly stay muted and stop sharing your screen, your video during the duration of the presentation. And during the Q&A, please virtually raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. You may unmute and show yourself when asking your question. Participants on FB, please post your questions in the comments section. The slides, videos, and other materials from the seminar are posted on our website only when the speaker gives her consent for sharing them. I'm now pleased to introduce to you one of our younger faculty members in the Department of Economics who is actively involved in research work, Dr. Maire Magante. She obtained her PhD in Urban Studies and Regional Sciences from the Gran Sasso Science Institute in Italy under a full-ride scholarship from the Italian government. She did her PhD work both in Italy and the United Kingdom while presenting her research in international conferences across Europe, Hungary, Ireland, and Portugal. During her doctorate, she was a visiting scientist for the European Commission in Ispra, Italy, and a visiting researcher for the Queen's University Belfast in Northern Ireland. She has contributed to publications of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, European Commission, and the World Journal of Applied Economics. As an early career researcher, she consulted with the Department of Trade and Industry and recently received a grant from the Friedrich Naumann Stiftung for Migration Reintegration Research. Her most recent publication will appear at the Journal of Population and Social Studies. Currently, she holds a visiting economist position at the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and assistant professor post at the Ateneo de Manila University Department of Economics. I also would like to acknowledge the presence of her writing partner, Mr. Simon K. Lubanco from Ateneo and also from Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. This morning, Dr. Magante will share her findings of her most recent research in this presentation entitled No Teacher Left Behind Towards an Improved Financial Education. Please welcome everyone, Dr. Maire Carroline Magante.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Dr. Magante.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful introduction. So anyway, good morning. I am Maire Carroline Magante from the Ateneo de Manila University, together with my co-authors, Dr. Mahalia Ravago, Dr. Faith Christian Cacño, who is also in the audience here, Mr. Simon K. Lubanco, and Miss Marie Edelweiss Marate. It's my honor to present to you our very timely research, which is No Teachers Left Behind Towards an Improved Financial Education. So financial literacy is defined by the BSP's Financial Inclusion, or FIS, as the understanding of the existing financial products and services and the capacity to use these products and services to be able to efficiently manage one's financial resources. So teachers' financial literacy in the Philippines had attracted the spotlight in the past years. In particular, the Department of Education teachers are under fire due to the controversy brought about by their loan payments. So they reach a total of 123 billion pesos of loan to the Government Service Insurance System, or GSIS, in 2017. So this research aims to examine the financial literacy of the teachers. So teachers are chosen as the sample sector in this research due to several factors. So we abide by the findings of the Jumpstart Coalition for Personal Financial Literacy, claiming that financial literacy is a dynamic capability, one which actually allows individual to properly and efficiently respond to the ever-changing economic conditions. Hence, apart from the core subjects in school like maths, sciences, students should also be well equipped with the various financial concepts and operations as a necessary life skill needed to survive. So our research question in this study is, what are the determinants of financial literacy among Filipino teachers? So there are still gaps to be filled in the financial literacy niche. Mainstream literature, though extensive, they still lack the information on how the teacher's state of financial literacy affects their overall financial health and condition. This is important because teachers' financial literacy influences the financial literacy and learning of the students and its possible impact on their well-being. To explore these questions, we purposely surveyed the teaching population that gives an in-depth overview on their behavior, knowledge, and of course, on their financial attitude on certain matters. So while it is true that teachers and the majority of the Filipino adults may tend to know the importance of financial literacy, they are constrained by various factors, both at their capacity to translate their knowledge into actual financial behavior, as well as their ability of formal financial services to meet the needs of their clients. So addressing these gaps in financial literacy to introduce basic and more sophisticated financial concepts among Filipino adults may aid in increasing the demand and uptake for more complex financial products and services beyond having the usual deposit or savings accounts. So for our literature review, we saw that financial literacy identifies numerous determinants from gender, parents, networks, age, marital status, education, and even media. While these are the common identified determinants, there remains no consensus on how these determinants, as flashed in your screen, affect a person's financial literacy. So, thus, further investigation on these factors under specified demographics would lead to better and clearer understanding of the topic. So our survey process began with recruitment of the participants through social media postings, email requests, tons of it, and our own networks, of course. So column 1, top photo, shows the first page of the survey, accessible through SurveyMonkey platform. The bottom photo shows the recruitment poster for this research, which we disseminated through social networks and emails. So since the study actually received endorsement from the Commission on Higher Education and the Department of Education, as seen in the middle and rightmost documents on the screen, it took us about 2 months for the needed sample participants to be completed. So our sample is composed of 18 regions across the Philippines, across actually 2 timelines. This study, I'll be presenting you the 2 timelines. So we have 252 samples for the year 2014, and we have 395 samples for a recent survey, which is in 2022. So this research, we use a descriptive survey research designed to determine the level of financial literacy of teachers in the Philippines by asking questions that reflect their financial attitude, behavior, and knowledge. So the survey instrument has 2 parts. First, we ask for the teachers' demographic profiles, and questions regarding their financial practices. So we ask if they are married, how many are there in the family, and as such. The second part of the survey focused mainly on their teaching career and household profiles. So all the data that we gathered from the survey has been anonymized. So here's the interesting part. So the first level of analysis creates the Financial Literacy Index, or our FLI. So on your left, that's the FLI equation. For all the calculation of the FLI, the unweighted values of the question range from 0 to 1. So for binary question, what we did is that we fully penalize, meaning we award this point 0 to the respondents for negative responses, and we fully award, meaning we give them point of 1 for the respondents for positive responses. Meanwhile, for the quantitative questions, we take the percentile rank of the respondents against the total sample. So these scores are multiplied by their allocated weight per question. So the index is based on their respective performance and revealed financial health by their answers to the various financial categories in the survey. So in this survey, we have two measures. One we call FAFD-FK proxy, which is actually the financial attitude, financial behavior, and financial knowledge, their answers on those questions. And of course, the 5 pillars of financial competencies, which includes earning, saving and investing, spending, borrowing, and finally, protecting. So the first proxy of financial literacy, the 3 aspects are equally weighted at each. So furthermore, questions from the survey are mutually exclusively distributed according to the 3 aspects, and the 33.33% weight per aspect is eventually and evenly distributed among the corresponding questions. So for the second proxy, we determine by the following pillars, as you can see in your screen. These are the earning, saving, investing, spending, borrowing, and protecting. So the protecting pillar is actually further distinguished between government-mandated contributions on insurances, social protection, and of course, the other term, which is voluntary contributions on other forms of insurances. So following the principles above, each pillar is given equal weights as well, and this is equally distributed among the mutually exclusively assigned questions under each of the 5 pillars. So formally, let X, as shown in your left equation, let X be the allocated score per question and gamma be the weight allocated per question. Then the financial literacy index for each respondent, which is I, whether this is operationalized by the first or the second proxy, is simply meaning the sum of the products of the weighted scores per question. So the second level of the analysis identifies the determinants. So this is the more juicy part of the research. What are the determinants of the financial literacy in the Philippines using OLS? The functional form of our simple equation for the determinants of financial literacy will be specified as, look to your right equation. So Y is the FLI, or the Financial Literacy Index. It's the dependent variable. X is the teacher-related independent variables, which includes the first part of our survey. These are the socioeconomic variables. We also have dummy variables for teachers' institutions. So if the teacher teaches in public institution, she gets 1. If he teaches in a private institution, he gets 0. So the dummy variable for teaching level is 1, 2, and 3, meaning we record 1 for primary, 2 for secondary, and 3 if they're teaching tertiary education. So Z are the controls variables, such as we identified the region of residences, we identified other household characteristics, and finally, of course, E is the error term. So what did our findings show? As you've heard earlier, we have preliminary two sets of data, one in 2014 and one in 2022. So you can see here in the 2014 survey that NCR and Northern Mindanao ranks high in the average FLI for both measures. So we have measures on FAFB and the 5 pillars. Using both competencies for the same set of teachers, so 2014 teachers, we can see that Caraga and Eastern Visayas ranks very low among the region. So doing the same thing in our 2022 survey, we saw that Davao region and Central Visayas are the regions with the highest or with high FLI, while Mimaropa and Bangsamoro Autonomous Region are the ones with the lowest. So moreover, here, we can see that in terms of the level taught by the teachers who teach in higher levels, so tertiary and above, tend to have higher financial literacy. That is applicable for both of the proxies we use, for the FAFB and for the 5 proxies. So you can see in your screen, in your rightmost part, the sky blue and the dark blue colors, it constitutes a high FLI for tertiary level teachers. And meanwhile, in terms of educational teaching institution, we also found that the FLI of teachers from the calculation of it using the financial attitude and the financial behavior is significantly higher among teachers who teach in private school institutions than in public school institutions. So you can see there that, okay, private schools are, teachers who teach in private school are higher. However, the same significant difference cannot be ascertained in the FLI for both the 5 pillars kasi parang pareho na lang siya if you can look at your dark blue bars. So in terms of the income per quintile group, what we saw that we found that the higher the quintile the teachers belong to, because we segregated their income, the higher their financial literacy is. So you can see the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth quintiles in your screen. It goes up. The FLI goes up as your quintile goes up. Now, here are our results. So you can see here the results of the 2022 survey where the variables natural log of the household income here and the proportion of the household members with tertiary education and the proportion of household information assets to overall household assets appear to be significant determinants of FLI. So continuing on the same survey, we just cannot fit the entire results in one slide. So this is a continuation of the slide 15. So continuing on the same survey on 2022 set, we can also see that the educational attainment, as you can see here, is also a significant determinant of the financial literacy of teachers. So what we did in our 2022 data, we also did it in our 2014. This slide shows the results of these set of data. We can see here that, again, the natural log of the household income and expenses and the educational attainment of household members are actually significant. But compared to the 2022 survey, the 2014 survey does not show the significance of the information assets on financial literacy. So we did not see any importance or significance on that. But we saw that the level taught here of the level taught by the teachers can be significant positive determinants of financial literacy. So this is a continuation of the first previous slide. So unlike the 2008 survey, teachers' educational attainment is not significant here. And apart from that, we also saw that marital status is actually a significant determinant of financial literacy among the teachers in 2014 survey. So we delved in deeper with our analysis. We did pulled the 2022 and the 2014 data, and this is a more stringent runs. We saw that the same observations from the individual regression runs hold. Diba? We separated 2014 and 2022. where income, expenses, proportion of the tertiary educated members in household, and information assets over the household assets are significant determinants of financial literacy. So we can see here again that the levels taught by teachers can be significant positive determinants of financial literacy as well. So this is the second part of the pooled regressions. The educational attainment here and marital status are significant positive determinants as well. So it has been observed that the teachers in 2014 tend to be less financially literate than the teachers from 2022, which if you come to think of it, which is actually a good news for everybody. So to conclude, what did I discuss in my research? The preliminary findings of our research had various iterations, as you can see in the previous slides. Various iterations of the regression analysis were tested, simultaneously increasing the controls for, of course, more stringent measures. We saw that the commonalities among all these regression runs can be summarized into 5 points. So our result says that household members with tertiary education positively affects FLI. Proportion of information-related assets can negatively impact the FLI. Educational attainment of teachers and their level taught positively impacts FLI. Marital status is a positive significant determinant of financial literacy. And of course, the household overall financial status increases the FLI. So with that, I end my presentation. We would also like to acknowledge the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP Research Academy, for providing the funding for this research. Again, maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Dr. Magante. That's a very interesting result. Those are very interesting results, and I'm happy to see that there was an earlier survey or earlier set of data to which you were able to also compare and also pool together. Yeah, compare and pool. Now, for the audience, for our viewers, you may now put your questions in the chat box. Either FB Live or here. Or you may raise your hand and you'll be acknowledged so you can ask your question directly to Dr. Magante. Yes, I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Faith Cacnio from BSP, former president of the Philippine Economic Society.
Hello, Ma'am Faith.
Yeah. Okay, while waiting for some questions, Doc, I'd like to ask, since there are some students here in the audience, what were the challenges that you encountered when you prepare a research like this? When you were doing this and in the preparation and in the writing, to parang like tips for students doing a primary survey. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that question, Dr. Bautista. Actually, doing a primary survey in a pandemic, we're still in a pandemic, is actually very difficult. And honestly, it's not possible for us to be able to successfully do this survey without the help of BSP and without the dissemination of our educational institutions such as CHED and DepEd. So it is very difficult, but it can be done. I think the university's stance on primary survey these days is actually frowned upon because of health and other locational restrictions, right? So if you're going to do a primary survey sampling, it would really be to your advantage if you do it earlier. So we assume first in our study that we can finish the 384 samples for the 2002 data in 1 month. But we extended because there are a lot of attrition in terms of our survey participants. So medyo mahirap talaga makatapos.
Okay, you have been a thesis teacher also. Do you think it is feasible for students to do something like this in a semester when they take their economic research class?
The short answer is a semester is extremely short if they are going to do a primary survey collection. I think doing the chapter 2, the literature review alone, or finding the research gap, it already demands 2 to 3 months or even an entire semester just to prepare your thesis. So I would suggest that the entire thesis for undergrads and even postgrad would be extended from one semester to actually an entire year. Because also in my during my PhD, I also did the preparation a year ahead before the actual thesis writing. So it helped me a lot. And I think this practice would also be beneficial for the fourth year senior students doing their thesis.
Okay, thank you. Maybe for grad students like master students, it would be more up. It can be done within there'd be sufficient time to this one for doing this
Yes.
type of
Yes.
research. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any.
I'd like to read one question which was
Yeah.
messaged directly to me. So
All right.
thank you, Anna. She said, "Good morning, Doc. This is such an interesting topic po, and thank you for sharing your research and your results. You're welcome. I'd like to know lang po na arriving at the conclusion, what would you like to recommend po to teachers or maybe the whole educational curriculum? Thank you po." Oh, thank you for that question, Anna. It's actually very early because we're still trying to give you a more holistic view on the financial literacy education. We're still trying to concatenate the data from the CFS, which is for the financial literacy for ordinary citizens. But right now, based on the research findings, based on the current research finding we have, is to have a more stringent curriculum on teachers and actually both on students. The financial literacy classes here in the Philippines, I believe, is being taught in the secondary education. So if I think that teaching students the basic financial instruments earlier pa lang, kahit hindi pa sila secondary education, so you teach them about savings, you teach them about money management, financial investments early on in a very basic concept, I think it would do well in the long run. So the students are not going to be intimidated when they hear about bonds, stocks, saving certificates in their older years. I think
Okay.
it's one possible program to be followed.
Okay, thank you. There's also another in the chat box, and let me read. Good morning, Doc. Do the results of the study support the effect of the pandemic, forcing more people to acquire goods online, adopt e-wallets, wireless transactions, etc.? Adoption could mean having to learn about financial tools, concepts, or increasing financial awareness. Doc Magante?
Oh, actually, okay, thank you for that. It's very interesting, and I don't know if we have time to unpack the question because financial literacy, I don't know if you've heard about the term financial inclusion. It's a broader area of financial management or financial education that allows people to um to partake in these services, such as yung financial tools, concepts, increasing financial awareness. I think the financial inclusion and financial literacy should go hand in hand, because a part of financial literacy is actually knowing or you being able to access these financial tools and financial instruments to make your life easier, or your financial management or financial health easier. So currently, the survey we did not include the effects of pandemic and the the effects of pandemic, but we do have in our study we did have the options or questions regarding their savings and deposits accounts, which actually has that online transfer. But
Yeah.
the frequency of this as compared to pre-pandemic levels, that is an opportunity we can look at.
Yeah, I like what Steve, I don't know if this is what Steve is also saying. I also kind of experienced that during the pandemic. I may feel that I am sufficiently, at least on my gauge, financially literate, but when the pandemic happened, I had to learn new things like the GCash and other online payments. And
Yes.
and once you start navigating these online tools that were introduced to you, you're also open to investment options and savings options.
Yeah,
They
it
start,
comes both ways.
yeah, that's right. And then indeed, I feel that even if I'm already near senior, there was an experience and learning added to me during this period that we transitioned online. Okay. Thank you then. Thank you, Steve. And then we also like to ask a question from Ahmed. Good morning. What was the survey instrument that you utilized in your study to determine the financial literacy of the teachers? Is it possible to request a copy of the survey questionnaire for a possible replicate study? And how can we get a copy of your research? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Ahmed. What we did for our survey instrument is a descriptive survey type. So we have an hour-long survey posted in Survey Monkeys, which we are quite very thankful to all the teachers who took their time to answer it. So our survey is a descriptive research type, and we have segmented it into different segments that would reflect the household profile, teaching career of the teachers. We also have the social demographic profiles, and the important part of the survey instrument is the survey on the FAFBFK. So in that segment, we ask different questions that reflects their financial attitude, financial behavior, and financial knowledge, giving them equal weights. And as you can see, we treated their answers. The treatment of the data is 0, fully penalize it, and then 1 if we fully award the points to them. So that's how we built our financial literacy index from scratch. So yeah, that's it. Is it possible to get a questionnaire for a replicate study? I don't have the answer to that, but how can we get a copy of your research? We're actually on the process of finalizing our research findings, and it will be submitted for publication online, which you can have access definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Maire, Doc Maire. As an added information, by the way, while we're still waiting for some questions and comments, many years ago, the Department of Economics, they asserted, no, that was really many years ago, as in the late 90s or mid 90s. And in our department, we were engaged also in a training seminar workshop with public school teachers, and that was co-organized by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. That was in the 90s. And I remember that it was done in Manila near the BSP, but in a certain place. And here the public school teachers were really given inputs, lectures first, and tested on their knowledge, and key discussion, focus discussion groups with them about their own learning, financial learning. Before they can even teach these to students, they themselves should be aware, should know these things, this matter. So do you have, along your timeline in deepening this research, do you have some directions towards eventually meeting teachers, like focus FGDs, focus discussion group, to further explore the some other aspects of this financial literacy?
Thank you
Uh,
for that question, Dr. Bautista.
yeah.
So actually, when only the five researcher has access to the raw data, and when we were trying to check this descriptive statistic, it's quite disheartening to know that a lot or a huge amount or a percentage of our sample population erroneously answered these basic financial questions on attitude, behavior, and knowledge. So it's one of our research goal is to be able to at least draft a direction towards increasing the financial literacy or financial awareness of these teachers, because we've had the endorsement of CHED and DepEd, and we also have the support of DSP for that. I think DSP has their own department on financial inclusion. So it would take a lot of organization and communication in between. But yes, it's one of our goals to be able to at least improve the financial literacy or financial curriculum. The execution, of course, is not under our hands, but the findings are there.
Actually, out of that seminar workshop that I mentioned in the 1990s, where a CERD was also involved, if I remember correctly, BSP came up with a series of booklets or instructional materials for teachers that they can use in class. But I didn't have any more follow-up information after. I just saw the books, and I'm sure they were distributed to the participants later on. Now, what is there any
Sorry,
other?
Doc Bautista,
Yeah.
I do have a question directed to me. So thank you, Anton.
Yeah.
It says, "Good morning, Doc. I am currently an undergrad student undergoing a quantitative study for my thesis, which includes multiple regression analysis to look at factors that affect certain survey scores, which is somewhat similar to your study. What tips would you have for students undergoing such analysis, and what should students look out for?" Okay. So this is thesis related. In a short answer lang, but let's focus back on our presentation. Read econometrics, watch econometric videos, consult your econometric professors. That way you have the feedback from experts and you have educated yourself theoretically. So do it both ways. So your effort, their effort. Yun. Sorry, Dr. Bautista.
Yeah, and we have very good econometrics teachers in the school, and we
Yes.
have how many?
Yes.
3 to 6 units of econometrics classes and
Metrics,
laboratory.
yes.
Yeah, so you should be, don't worry, you'll be prepared very well for your economic research by the time you get there. Now, about your content, Doc, what novel idea or interesting idea did you find, from this research? Like something that you were not expecting and then it surfaced. Oh, so that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bautista, for asking that. We did several iterations of the research and we did several runs. And when we managed to, we have separate data and we have the pooled one, we found out that marital status affects financial literacy index, which is a very interesting finding, because when we were reviewing the literature, the usual determinants of financial literacy would be education, human capital, parents' education, gender, network, but never the marital status. So we were flabbergasted when we saw that, oh, ano pala, may bearing pala kung kasal ka, kung separated ka, if you are widowed. There is an effect of your marital status on your financial literacy index. And it's something that is noble because we never saw it before.
In the
So
literature.
yes, we're still looking at that.
So when you say marital status effect, the married ones showed positive, significant relationship. Is it positive, significant influence on financial literacy if you're married? Is that what you mean?
It has significant influence. I forgot the direction if it's positive or not. So kasi ma'am, di ba meron tayong 2014 data, meron tayong 2022 data, and we have the pool for that. But I think it was the 2014 data that has the significant marital status
Ah,
as a determinant.
okay. And then, how is again the gender result? I tend to think sometimes that the women being the person in the family, or the wives, the mothers, usually in charge with budgeting, did it lead to consistent positive result, or was it positive, or what was the sign in 2014 and 2022? Were the results consistent?
Ma'am, we actually did not include the gender as a determinant. So if I may, I can
Yeah.
share
Oh
the
yeah.
results again.
Yeah.
So please allow me a few seconds. So can you all see my screen? Yeah. So to answer your first question, to answer your question on the marital status, it's actually the pool pala. So we pulled the 2022 and 2014 survey, and we saw that marital status has a positive significant determinant or effect on the financial literacy index. So you can see it here. So married, widower, widow, separated, and of course our base group would be the singles. So under the 5 pillars, and even under the FAFB proxy, we saw that it is a positive significant determinant.
Okay. And then there was none on the sex or the gender, whether it's a
None
male.
on gender, ma'am.
All right. You mentioned only gender in the literature that you reviewed. I recall
Yes.
now. Yeah, it was mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to find the new determinants or additional determinants.
All right. There was also, in your conclusion, there was something also that caught my interest. Unless there's any question from,
I
would I
think I have a
continue?
question here,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do have a lot of questions directed in my inbox.
Okay,
So I
please
have
address
one
them first. Yeah.
from Miss Mungkal. Hello, Dr. Magante. I hope this question makes sense. If I heard it right, in your study, financial attitude, behavior, and knowledge were weighted equally. Yes, we have equal weights for them. Could you elaborate on the rationale behind that? One could expect that these would have influences in intersectionality. How could future studies account for those? Yes, we have equal weights for them, because if you're going to review the literature on financial literacy, it's just a focus on financial attitude and financial behavior. If you're going to see the literature, financial knowledge is different. So this study, the novelty of this is that this is the first in our researchers' knowledge that we combined FAFPFK, and to be able to justify the weights, we gave them equal weights. Kasi there is intersectionality, as Ms. Mongkal said. So you may know that this is the right thing, but you did not do it, or you did not act on it. So financial knowledge may not translate easily to behavior, and financial attitude may not translate easily to financial knowledge. So what we did is we just weighed them equally. I hope it answers your question, Ms. Mungkal. I also have another one here from Ms. Fernando. May I ask po, Doc, why you did not include the gender as a determinant? I remember that gender was included as part of the literature review. Yes. Thank you for that question, Ms. Fernando. Same as Dr. Bautista. In our current runs, kasi this study is still being done, we still haven't wrapped up this study. In our current runs, we did not include the gender because it's already a niche in the literature that has been proven many times. So we're trying to push we're trying to push forward what we know about the financial literacy. Thus, we included the social demographic factors, household profiles that you don't normally consider. So we can do a run on that on gender. But right now we're focusing on the not so usual determinants. That's why we focused on these factors. Kaya nakita namin na marital status pala as a significant determinant. Who would have thought, 'di ba? Kasi wala naman siya sa previous literature. So I hope I answered your question, Ms. Fernando. And I also have one with Mr. Chavez. Hi again, Dr. Magante. I noted the increase or shift in ranking of FL for some regions. What may be the possible underlying reasons for this? Perhaps economic development in the region or migration from urban to rural. Okay. This is a very heavy question to unpack. I think since we have almost an 8-year differences in terms of the first survey to the second survey, it could be some of the teachers already retired. We also have an influx of new, young, talented teachers who may or may not be as financial literate as the other one. So note that this segments or this research gave you a snapshot on different aspects of time. So 2014 and 2022, it could be, yes, as what you saw, pwedeng nagkaroon ng outmigration to other provinces or outmigration or may immigration talaga to other countries. That's why we have these differences in rankings. You know, it's a possible answer, migration from urban to rural or outmigration per se. Okay, my follow-up question si Ms. Mongkal. Thank you for your answer po. As a follow-up, even that you started this new approach of combining the knowledge, attitude, and behavior po, what future studies would you like to see? Oh, okay, this is very good. At the top of my mind, I would like to see the effect of a more stringent curriculum, katulad nga nung diniscuss namin ni Dr. Bautista kanina. What if we start the financial education at an early age? The same as you have sciences, you have history in grade school. You have it towards the end, tertiary. So that there is graduation in the gradual increase in terms of financial concepts and financial management taught in school. So what if we start in basic education, which is grade school, and we can have the study after these students who started financial education in basic school. We can survey them again after they graduate in college. How are they now? How is their financial education at par compared to those who started their financial education in secondary school? Parang K-12 lang yan. Ano yung nangyaring effect nung nagkaroon tayo ng K-12? Ano na sila ngayon in terms of their skills, in terms of their financial management, in terms of their opportunities for employability? Nag-increase ba yung opportunities of employability nila or hindi? It would be a very good research, very rich research in terms of data and findings. And of course, it gives you a holistic view. But this research at the top of my mind would involve probably 10 years in terms in the making, and of course, a lot of support from the educational institutions and of course the findings. It's exciting though.
Yeah, I agree, Doc. Actually, it has crossed the minds of some teachers in the economics department in casual
Yes.
conversations that, like, for instance, in high school, in our younger years, when we were in high school, we had consumer math, and which is really connected with economics, and finance. So this subject, consumer math, really gave us some very practical ways of handling our finances. That was the title of the subject then, and then and we were thinking it has to be somehow be integrated again, over the years. I don't know what happened to it, And then the other point here related to what you said about basic education is that what I noticed from financial literacy workshops that I attended and also helped facilitate in the past is that the usual the usual participants are public school teachers that I've seen, those in the public school sector. But actually, their question usually is that what is there to manage if you don't have money? No, we talk about financial education to students, and they really don't have money to start with to their public school students. But on the other side of the world, no, there are schools na private school students like basic ed students, and they're baon, these children, they have very big baon, they have big allowances, and they just spend here and there, no. And these are the young students who have the potential to save, no. So
Yes.
I think the attention should also be given to private schools, especially with those kinds of students who have more than adequate allowances, so they don't just keep on buying, maybe purchasing things for their games. A long time ago,
Luxury.
yeah, a long time ago, students that I know, the very young ones, were putting their money in cards, yung cards that they change, that they trade.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's right. So that was a long time ago, and now games. So they have excess cash, and it's good to start basic financial education at the level of these grade school students with excess cash. But of course, it doesn't stop us from giving financial or consumer math education to the basic students in the low-income communities and households.
That's
Okay.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, something in your research really caught my attention, and that is in your conclusion. You mentioned about the information-related assets, which had a negative impact on financial
Yes.
literacy index. Can you please clarify that?
Okay. I'll try to share the screen again to that specific. Okay. Can you give me a second? Okay. Can you all see my screen? Yes. So this is we saw that the proportion of household information assets to overall assets, kasi we classified the information assets, as we call them, to the household assets, which is the usual refrigerator, microwave, television. So we have the information assets such as the iPad, computer, laptops. So their proportion, the proportion of these goods as related to all other goods or all other household assets. So we saw that there's a negative effect. It could be we are in the time that there is a burgeoning study that would need effects of information as obtained in social media, probably social media, other networks that could be, how do you call it, that could be filtered, something like that, because we were expecting something that, okay, information assets such as iPad, laptops, it could eventually affect the financial literacy, but then we were, kasi nga, di ba, that's where you get the news, that's where you can educate you can educate yourself, that's where you watch YouTube videos or read financial concepts. So we were initially expecting a positive significant result. So this information assets could increase FLI, but then the result did not. So it's one of the things that we're looking at right now. What happens, or how are these information assets being used? Is it being used to further improve you, further educate yourself in terms of financial management or other matters that does not improve your financial condition? So it's one of the things that we're currently looking at as well. And it's interesting as well.
Yeah.
Kasi most of us, we have these gadgets for education purposes, yung mga modules natin. Kung ganito pala yung effect, it's worth looking at.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. No? So because it is counterintuitive, no? And then maybe
Yes.
students can, even if you don't get, if you don't have the opportunity to survey teachers, maybe you can look into, say, the effect of information asset ownership of students, of college students, on their financial literacy. No, it's easier to survey
Yes.
college students. Okay, any
Yes.
more question? We have maybe one more
Um,
or comment.
uh, I have no questions from my end, Dr. Bautista. From the chat box, wala na.
And we also do not have any more from our Zoom chat. Okay, with that, we'd like to thank you again, Dr. Magante. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, ma'am. It's
also
my
your
pleasure.
team, are your teammates
Yes, they're
here?
here. I
Maybe
saw
we
Dr.
can turn.
Kakyo here and Simon.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Cacnio and Mr. Simon Lebanco, who was, by the way, my student in in
Eh,
his in
Yes,
basic in basic economics, di ba, Simon?
you
Yeah.
should be proud, Dr. Bautista.
Yes, I
He's a
am.
brilliant researcher.
Yeah. Okay, so let me now share our slides so you can also check out where you can get in touch with us, and if you'd like to request a certificate or copies of the materials. Okay. Okay, please visit our website for materials from not only from this seminar but also from previous seminars. We have the www.ateneo.edu/ls/soss/economics. And as we said earlier, these uploads in the website and videos, we also ask the consent of our speakers and resource persons. And that's where you can get our seminar series video, also from the Facebook of Ateneo Economics Department.